Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Fariha from Fariha's Web Story. So today I'll be sharing with you guys how to build this modern responsive portfolio using only just HTML and CSS. It is going to be a responsive portfolio. So we are going to use some vanilla JavaScript to create toggle bar, menu toggle bar and all. So as you guys can see here, this is our portfolio. This is our hero section, and we have got a heading over here and some icons, and we have got a button. Whenever we hover over it, it will give us some effect. Okay, so whenever we are clicking on that small icon, whenever we click on that, it will take us to our next section. So in this services section, as you guys can see here, I have created some card. So for that, I have just used CSS grid and flexbox. And one more thing, if you are new to this journey, if you just start learning HTML and CSS, then I will encourage you guys to follow along with me and just create a project for yourself, because this is going to be a really helpful video, because I'm going to describe everything from the scratch. I'm going to share my tips and tricks and all. So as you guys can see here, this is our project section. So every section we are going to use some before and after pseudo element to achieve this styling. Okay, so this is our project section. Again, we have used a card with some images over here, and you can share your projects, and we have got a button for GitHub link. And then our work experience section, here we have got some work experience and then some skills. So, and then the work process, if you want to skip this portion you can, but I'm going to keep this one. So this is our work process section, and this is our contact section. I'm going to create a web design for this portfolio. So I thought this is not a dynamic website, like we are not going to use any backend part like PHP, Node.js and all. We are not connect the contact form. So I thought, why not just using this email for our contact page. Okay, so this is it, and we have got a footer over here, and here is a button. So whenever we click on that, it will take us to our first section. Okay, so I think this will going to be a very exciting project for you guys. As you guys can see here, this is a fully responsive portfolio. Can you see here? This is a fully responsive portfolio. So this is, I'm going to divide this video into 2 or 3 parts. This is going to be a series. So I think you guys will enjoy my video, and you guys will able to understand the properties and elements and all. So without a further ado, let's get into our project. New to this channel, please do subscribe to our channel. It would really help my channel to grow. Before we start writing our code, let's explain the structure and logic behind this project. So first of all, let's talk about the prerequisites of this project. You need a code editor that you are comfortable with. I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code Editor, and you guys can use Sublime, Brackets, anything you want. And the basic understanding of HTML and CSS. You have to have some idea about the tags and all. Other than that, I'm going to discuss about the elements and property. So let's explain our code. This is our hero section. So before we start our coding, I want you to look at the design that we are going to implement. So this is our hero section. So let's see. So in this area, in this header section, we have got a header over here. This is the black outline that we have got here, and inside the header I'm going to use the box shadow. Okay, so you have to, first of all, you have to look at your project, and then you have to think about it, that what I'm going to do in this project. Okay, what I'm going to use in this project, how I'm going to implement this design. So first of all, we have to create our logo. So inside the header, first of all, I'm going to create our logo, and then we have got a navbar. So inside the navbar, I'm going to put some nav links over here. So let's see the coding. So if we look at our HTML code, we can see here the first work is to create a header over here. And then inside the header, I'm going to create our logo. You can see here that I have used the anchor tag, and then anchor tag. Inside the anchor tag, I'm going to give it a class of logo, and then the RT that we are going to use in our logos. And then inside the span tag, we have used the dot. We have got a logo over here, and we have given a dot over here just to make it more attractive. We wrapped this dot inside a span tag because we have some special styling over there. Okay, and then we have got our icon. So this is our menu bar. We will talk about that later. And the third part is we need to have a nav tag. We have given the class of nav bar. Okay, so inside the nav bar, we have to create 5 anchor tag. In this home button, I'm going to give it a class of active because we need some special styling over there, right? We have given some background color and all. So let's talk about our CSS code. So in that CSS code, as you guys can see here, in that header portion, this header portion, we have given a position of fixed because we need a fixed navbar. Okay, and then the top is 0. So the top is 0 from the project. We can see here the top is actually 0 in the header portion, the left is 0, the right is 0. Okay, and then the background color, we have given the background color of white. And then the padding, so the padding is actually the spacing inside the header, okay, not the outside of the header. We have given property of display flags. So the matter of display flags is we want the logo and the nav bar to divided them into 2 parts, like they are in a same row. Okay, so that we have given the property of display flags, and the justify content is space between. We want some space between the logo and the nav links. Okay, and then align items in center, we want the vertically center. Okay, and here we used the variable for box shadow. We will talk about that later. In the logo part, we have given some font size. If you follow my Instagram post, then you will understand that why we have to use the relative units for our responsive. Then it will get much easier for you to responsive your website, right? And inside the logo, we have got a span to give it a font size of 1 am, and we have given the color of red. Okay, and then we have got a header inside the navbar and anchor tag. Whenever we hover over it, it will change the color with red and the color white. And we have also used the same style for our active class also. Okay, we will talk about the icon later because this is for our responsive menu toggle bar. Okay, so now this is our hero section. So in this hero section, we have given a section with the class of hero, and then inside the section we have given div with the class of container. So the container, what the container is going to do? So the container is going to display our maximum width. We are going to set the maximum width of this website. So we are going to use this container in our every section. Okay, so the maximum width of our website is going to be 1100 pixel. Okay, so for that we have just to make our life easier, we have used this container and the center class also. So this center class is going to be center all our element. Okay, we have to give some styling over here in our center class. And then as you guys can see here, we have got a h1 tag and then a paragraph tag, some icons over here. As you guys can see here, we have just created a div with the class of links, and inside the links we have put our icons over here. We have got a button, the download CV button. We have given a class of primary btn, which we are going to use in every section for our button. So primary btn and then the download CV, and then we have got icon over here for scroll down icon. So this is our scroll down class. Okay, so let's just start writing code. First of all, as you guys can see here, I have already created some files and folders. So for HTML, I have created the file index.html, and I have created a folder for CSS, and inside the folder I created a file style.css and main.js. So we need to create our boilerplate. So for that, just press shift 1 and then hit enter. This is our boilerplate, and I'm going to change our title. And then now we are going to link our CSS file. So for that, link CSS, and now we have to give our font awesome link. So for that, just click here, font awesome, all.min.css, copy link tag, and then I'm going to paste it over here. And now we are going to create our header tag. First of all, we need to create our header tag, and then inside the header tag, I'm going to give it a anchor tag and span tag. Inside the span tag, I'm going to give it a dot, the class of logo. And now we will move into our CSS part. And now first of all, I'm going to add my Google font. So for that, I'm going to use today I will be using Montserrat. And first of all, I'm going to create some variables. So for creating your variables, you have to use root and then some variables. So my variable would be the body color should be, I believe it was F9, F9 and FF. And now what we will do is, first of all, we are going to select all our elements and I'm going to give it some styling over here. So we are going to remove the default styling of margin 0 and the padding is gonna be 0. Box sizing is going to be border box. And then font family, so our font family is gonna be, I think I need to copy it from here. Ctrl V, and then I'm going to give it a text decoration of none. So now as you guys can see here, so whenever I put that styling over here, then you see the underline has gone. So now list style is gonna be none. The border is also going to be none. We don't need any default border. And then the outline is also none. And then the text transform is gonna be capitalized. So now what we will do is we are going to give it autosave. So whenever you have your autosave, you don't need to save it over again. Now I'm going to select my body and give it a color of background color of, so the BG color is gonna be the body color, and then now select all our images that I will inside in this project. The height is gonna be 100% and then the width is also gonna be 100%. And now I'm going to select our HTML tag, and then inside the HTML I'm going to give some styling over there. So the font size for all our elements inside our project, the font size is gonna be, the root font size is gonna be 62.5%. okay, and then the overflow X is something that whenever you have your scrolling bar in x-axis, this is overflow X, right? We are going to hidden this out. The scroll behavior, whenever we scroll down, the scroll behavior should be smooth. So as you guys can see here, whenever we change our font size, it will change over here, and keeping that in our mind, this font size, we will set all our font size considering this font size. Now first of all, I'm going to select my header tag. So for that, I'm going to select my header tag, give it a position of fixed, and then I'm going to give it a top of 0, left is gonna be also 0, and the right is also 0. And now I want some background color, so the BG color is gonna be white, FFF, and then the padding is going to be 1 EM, top and bottom, and left and right 10 EM. okay, and now you can see the logo and the nav links are in a same column, not in a same row. Which I want is they will be in a same row. So for that, I'm going to give it a style of display flags. Just see here, whenever we give it a style of display flags, they just moved side by side. And the justify content is gonna be space between. So they moved from here to here. The align items is gonna be center align items, and then we have to give some z index over here. It will be the top layer. And then the box shadow is gonna be the variable that we have added. So the box shadow one. Control hit S, save. Now as you guys can see here that we have got a box shadow over here. So let's apply some style in our logo. So for that, first of all, I'm going to select my logo. The font size is gonna be, I guess it should be 3.5 em. So considering that font size, I have given the font size is 3.5 em, and the font weight is gonna be 700. We need the bold font weight, and then the color should be black. So the color is gonna be black. Control hit S, save. Now what we will do is, and then now we will select our logo. Then inside the span we have some style over here. So for that, I have to give some font size over here, which is 1 em, and then I need some color. So the color should be the red one. And now we want to and now we will header, sorry, this should be only header dot navbar, and then the anchor tag, and we want some font size over here. So the font size is gonna be 1.7 em. The border radius is gonna be 0.5. The padding is gonna be, the top and bottom padding is going to be 0.5 em, and then the left and right 1.5 em. And now the color is gonna be the black, sorry, the light black color, I guess. Yeah. And now what we will do is we have to give some styling over our active class. So just copy this one from here, Control V, and then hover, and let's give some comma over here, and then I will give a class of active over here, and then we will have some styling over here. Some color should be the white, and the BG color should be the red one. So the var, and then the red color. So as you guys can see here, we have got the styling. We have to add a class over here, which I forgot. So the active class. So as you guys can see here, this is our active class, and we have got some styling. And now we have to move on our hero section, the body part. And now just first of all, I'm going to create a section over here. So I'm going to create a section with the class of hero, and then inside the hero class, I'm going to give it a div with the class of container and the class of center also. And inside the div, I'm going to have a h1 tag, and inside the h1 tag, I'm going to add a p tag. And now I will have some links. So for that, div with the class of links to wrap the links over here, and then I'm going to have my links. So I'm just copying this one from my code. Now we will have our download CV button. So for that, I'm going to just have an anchor tag over here. I'm going to give it a class of primary btn. So the class is gonna be primary btn, and then the download CV. And then also I'm going to have an anchor tag for our scroll down button, and then this will go to our service section. So the div with the class of scroll down. Now this is time for our styling. So for that, first of all, I'm going to select our container class, and then inside the container I'm going to have the maximum width is gonna be 1100 pixel, and then the margin is gonna be 0 and auto center to center all of our elements. So for that, I'm going to give it a minimum height of 100 viewport height, and then I'm going to give it a display of flex. Justify content is gonna be center, and then the align items is also going to be center. As you guys can see here, we have our content over here. You see here, whenever we used the display of flex, they have just moved to like in a same row. So by default, whenever we use the display of flex, they all will move in a same row. So we can change the flex direction. So for that, FD flex direction is going to be in a column, same column. Okay, so can you see here, it has changed already. So now what we will do is we are going to select our h1 tag. So for that, dot hero, inside the hero we have our h1 tag, and I'm going to change the font size. So the font size is gonna be I guess this should be 4 em because we need a bigger font size here, and then the margin top is gonna be 0.2 em. Okay, and now we will select our inside our hero section, we want our p tile, and then I'm going to select the margin top is gonna be 0.5 em. Font size is gonna be 1.6 em, and we want some the letter spacing 0.1 em, and then the color should be the text color. And now we will focus on our links. So for that, dot links, the div that we have wrapped all our, I'm going to use the display grid. The main reason is to clear the concept for you guys. Just focus on here that what is going to be happen. So the display is grid, and the grid template column, like which how many columns I'm going to be separate them on. So the column is going to be 1fr, 1fr, sorry, 1fr, 1fr, then 1fr, like the 4 column. Okay, we can give them a column gap. So the grid column gap here, and we want 3 em gap. Can you see here? And we want some margins. So the margin is gonna be, the top margin is going to be 2.5 em and 0 left and right, 2.5 em. And now we want them to be center. So the place items is gonna be center. Okay, and let's change the format over here. You also can change the format like this, repeat, and then 4 times 1fr. Okay, so can you see here, this has already changed. And now we will select our dot links. Inside the links tag, we want to select our I tag, and then I want to give them a font size of 2.5 em, and then the cursor is going to be pointer. So the cursor is also going to be pointer, and then we want to give it a color of black. So this is looking good. And now we will focus on our links tag and then I tag, and whenever we hover over it, it will change the color. Okay, so the color is gonna be red color. So the red color. So as you guys can see here, whenever I hover over it, it will change the color. And now we will give some transition over here. So the transition is gonna be, all 0.5 second is in out, 0 second. So if we hover over it, it will like more smooth. Okay, I'm gonna select our CV button. So for that, dot primary btn, and then I'm going to give it a margin top of 1.1 em, and then the font size is gonna be 1.5 em. BG color is going to be red, and then the font color is gonna be white color. The padding should be, the top and bottom padding is 0.5 m and left and right is going to be 1.5 m. And now we want some border radius over here. So the border radius is gonna be, I guess it should be 30 pixel. I believe I gave this border radius. And now I'm going to have some transition over here because I'm going to use the hover effect. So for that, the transition is gonna be all 0.1 second and linear. Okay. And now select the, okay, let me see if I, okay, yep. So I'm going to select the Control C, copy this one, and then Control V, paste it over here, and I'm going to add some hover effect, and then I will give a BG color of black over here, so 000, and then we will have to change the color, like it should be the red color, and then the font weight is gonna be 700. Sorry, it should be 700, and then the font size is gonna be 1.6 m. So let's just see, whenever I hover over it, just see over here, it will change the font weight, the font size, background color and all. It's look good. Now we will just select our scroll down button. So scroll down button, and then the height, I'm going to make the scroll down button from scratch. So the height is going to be 5 am, the width is also going to be 5 am, and the position is absolute, and then the left is going to be 50%. So we want it to be centered horizontally, and then the transform translate X is going to be minus 50% to have it exactly center position, and then the bottom is going to be 19%. Let's have some border radius, and then the cursor is going to be pointer. So we can't see it now because we have some other styling over here. So we have given the height and width over here, and now what we will do is we will have the before and after pseudo element. Just see what I'm doing here, some before and after pseudo element. Okay, Control C and then Control V, before and after pseudo element. And now what I will do is the content empty. You can also give some content over here if you want, but I don't want the content over here. And now I will give it a position of absolute, and then I want the top is going to be 20%, the left is going to be 50%, and then the height is going to be 10 pixel, and then the width is going to be also 10 pixel. So basically what we are doing right now is we are creating this icon over here, right? So the height and width is going to be 10 pixel, the both are 10 pixel, and then the transform translate property, I'm going to use this one. So the transform and then the translate property, and from top 50% minus 50%, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a border. So the border is going to be 2 pixel, solid and variable red. Okay, just see over here, we are just creating the icon. You can use the icon like just to copy from the font awesome, but I love to create this one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just the border, I'm going to change the border top color. So the border top is going to be sorry, not the color, the transparent, and also the border left one. Okay, so if I just remove the border top and left, let's just see over here what is happening here. Border left, and now we will rotate this one. Okay, so the rotate this one with 45 degree. Okay, 45 degree, and we will separate the after scroll down one. So just copy it from here. I know this is a lengthy process, but this will make you understand that how you are going to be create this one from scratch. Okay, top 30%. So can you see here, this has already created, and now we will have some animation over here. So the animation, the name of the animation is scroll down 1 second, and is in out, and then infinite. And now what we will do now is we are going to use a keyframes. So add keyframes, and then the name of the animation. So the name is gonna be scroll down, and now we will give some animation. So for 0%, we want the opacity to 0. Okay, and for 30%, I'm going to copy this one, just pressing Shift Alt down key and then the 4 times, and in 30% I want it to be the opacity of 1, and in 60% I want it to stay in 1 opacity, and then the 100% it should be the opacity 0, and the top should be 90%. So can you see here, we have already created this one. So I hope you will love this series. So now we will move into our media query, because every website is accessed via devices with different screen sizes and resolution. So we have to mention our breakpoints. So for that, whenever you guys just notice over here, this is our width of our website. So whenever we change our width for small devices, can you see here, this website is breaking down. So we have to change our font size, some pairings over here, and everything. So let's move into our coding. And then first of all, I'm going to create a div with the class of icon. So and then I'm going to create our icon. We are going to paste it over here from our Font Awesome, and then I'm going to give it an ID of menu bar. And then what I'm going to do is we will go and style of our menu bar over here. So inside of this header, I'm going to select our icon and then our eye. Okay, so for that, first of all, I'm going to select our header, then icon class, and then our icon over here. So and then we will just give it a cursor of pointer, and then I'm going to give it a height of 4.5 rem, because we need some height. So it will give us this icon. This icon is the cursor is going to be pointer over here. So if we just so this is basically our icon. So we gave the cursor of pointer, and the height is gonna be 4.5 rem, and the width is also going to be 4.5 rem, and then I'm going to give it a line height. So the line height is gonna be 4.5 rem also, and then I'm going to give some margin left, because we need some margin left over here. So the margin left is gonna be 0.5 rem, and then the text align is going to be center. So the text align is going to be center over here, and the font size is going to be 1.7 rem. So we need a bigger icon over here, and then we want to give it a color of black, which is already, the color is already black over here. And then we want to give it a transition, because we need to, whenever we hover over it, we need to have some styling over here. Okay, so the transition is gonna be 0.2 second linear. So now I'm going to select my header icon eye, and then I'm going to give some hover effect over here. So for that, I'm going to select our icon, and then whenever I hover over it, I need to change the color. So the text color is gonna be white, and then we need some border radius. So some border radius over here, and then we need some background color. So background color is gonna be red. So whenever we hover over it, we need some background color, as you guys can see. And then I'm going to give it a transform property. So the transform is gonna be the rotate. So can you see here, we have given some effects over here, the rotate effect. And now what we will do here is we need to select our menu bar ID. So for that, header.icon menu bar, this menu bar ID over here, and then we need to give some styling. So as you guys can see here, we don't want to see this menu bar in this position. Like whenever we change our width, then we want to see over here. So for now we want it to be display none, so the display none. So as you guys can see here, it has gone. Now click save, and what we are going to do here is we are going to create another file for inside of our CSS folder. So I'm going to create a file for our media query. So media.css. So now let's start writing code for our media query. So first of all, I'm going to comment it out that we are going to start our media query, and then I'm going to select our media query for the minimum width of 1200 pixel, because as you guys can see here, we need to change the font size and the other styling. So for that, I'm going to select our media query minimum width of 1200 pixel, and then I'm going to select our HTML, and then I'm going to give it a font size of 70%. Okay, and now what we are going to do is we are going to select our header, and I'm going to change the padding over here. So for that, I'm going to select our header, and the padding is gonna be top and bottom 1 rem and left and right 2 rem. Okay, and next we are going to select next we are going to set the width of 991 pixel. So we are going to give it a media query of maximum width of 991 pixel, and then I'm going to select our HTML, and also the font size is gonna be 55%. So can you see here? And we also going to select our header, and the padding is also going to our top and bottom 1 rem and left and right 2 rem. Okay, now the third part is I'm going to select our media query for our mobile devices. Okay, so the maximum width is gonna be 772 pixel. So I'm going to give our media query, and the maximum width is gonna be 772 pixel. So if we inspect this one, and then if we give it a width of, I think 75% is great. So now if we give it a width of 772 pixel, just like this. So if we now if we change the HTML, if we just select our HTML tag and then change the font size, so the font size is gonna be 50%. So can you see here, the font size is going to be 50%. And now we are going to select our header over here, and then inside the header I'm going to give it a position of fixed. So the position is going to be fixed for our menu bar. We will talk about that later. And now we will give it a top of 0, and then the left of 0, and the right also 0. The right is gonna be 0 also. Okay, and the background color is going to be white color, and then the padding is gonna be 1 rem, and top and bottom and left and right 7%. Okay, and the next what we are going to do is we are going to give it a display of flex, and now we will give it a justify content of space between, and then the align items is going to be center, and also we are going to give it a z index of 1000, and the box shadow is gonna be the one that we have used in our CSS part. Okay, and now what we are going to do here is I'm going to select our menu bar, which we have actually we have set the display of none, and now we are going to give it a display of inline block. Okay, so we will see that soon. And now what we are going to do here is to select our navbar inside of our header, then we are going to give it a position of fixed, and then we are going to give it a top of 7%. The top is going to be 7%, and the right is going to be 0, and z index is going to be a high number of z index, and then we are going to give it a left of 0, height is going to be fit the content, and then we are going to give it a width of 100%. And then we are going to change our padding. So the padding is going to be 1 rem, and also the background color is going to be the body color. and the display is going to be none. So if we refresh over here, so the thing is we can change that, we can see the changing over here because we haven't add our media query yet. So the link, and then we are going to give it a media.css. Media.css. I'm going to remove it from here. Control S. Inside of our CSS folder. So inside of our CSS folder, we need our media.css. So as you guys can see here, we can now see our icon over here. Okay.